Hello Virgo, thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Animal Wisdom Tarot by Dawn Brunk, illustrated by Ola Leola. There's a website for them. CICObooks.com. Hopefully that's focusing. So if you want to search that out, you are more than welcome to. Supportive Oracle cards. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. If I can get it all into focus there. Website for them is rockpoolpublishing.com.au. A as an apple, U as an umbrella. So if you want to enjoy that in some fashion, you are free to do so. Okay, what do we have for Virgo? You got a bit of fire going on. Not bad, but not what I expect from like an earth sign, but that's interesting. Although a controlled burn makes sense for Virgo. Kind of like, yeah, I have energy, yeah, I can get a lot done, but you know what, I got a plan. I got a plan, and I got things to... Ooh, you got rewards coming up. You know what you're doing. You definitely know what you're doing. You also have, like, you got a lot of fire energy coming in. I'm getting a lot of fire coming in on your side. But I'm getting, like, we need a sustainable burn. And I feel like... I just feel like I have, like, a tendency to run myself down. And it's kind of like I have a long-term goal. It seems to take a lot of energy. And I feel like whatever's going on in my life, I can't sustain this level of energy. I don't understand. I mean, it's not that I don't understand it. I should say that, like, it's like my energy level is just not, I can't depend on it for some reason. It's like an up-down thing. It's like some days I can do it, other days I can't. But with the Virgo energy, if I tap into that, whether I have the energy or not, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. So it's kind of like, I feel like, ironically, I feel like Virgo would be good at this, but it's kind of like I have to take myself seriously first, which I feel like this is a challenge for me even. I have to eat things that I know are not going to knock me down the next day, and I have to keep myself on like a sleeping schedule to really make this work. And it seems like that's easier said than done because I got a lot to do. And it's kind of like by the time the day ends, I have goals and things have to be met. And if I have to go to bed a little later to meet those goals, well then to me that's more acceptable than missing the goal. The goal has to be met, and if I have to shorten my sleep period a bit, okay, then I'll do that. But I feel like that's kind of like shooting myself in the foot with that. You got rewards. I feel like I know this may sound strange because when I'm seeing this card, you are Virgo, but it's reminding me of the sign that this talks about, because I believe this is the Temperance card normally. I'm going to say that's the energy I'm getting. We're going to run with it. Because what I'm getting is like, with Sagittarius, when I think of Sagittarius, usually they have to like dial it back. They always get roped into too many things, and they got to dial it back at some point. It's like a constant thing throughout their lives. They just, sooner or later, they're going to get involved in too many things, and they have to dial it back. And they have to get into a habit of like, wait a minute, I don't feel happy, something's not right, dial it back. What can I dial it back? Dial it back. I ironically think whatever's going on here, I think you've overcommitted. And the thing is with Virgo, it's kind of like, well, I don't neglect my responsibilities. If I say I'm going to do it, then I'm going to do it. And that's how it is. And I get that. Totally respect that. Because it's kind of like when I put my word out there that I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. That's who I am. Like, I'm not going to jeopardize that. For whatever reason. But I'm getting like, you can definitely dial this back within reason, in the sense of like, say you've got too many things going on. I feel like you got way too many things going on. Talk to the people involved and tell them, you know what? I didn't expect to feel like I'm feeling, and I got a lot on my plate. I still want to do this, but can we change how this is adding in? If you deal with the people like who you've committed to and you ask them like, I'm not going to leave you high and dry, definitely not, but this is becoming overwhelming and I need to kind of dial this back. Is there a way we can work this out where I can still help you but kind of change how we do this, because I don't know what's going on, but I feel like I've got too much on my plate. Which, Virgo is a very good worker, and I wouldn't say you weren't, but for some reason I feel like it's gotten way too much, and it's kind of like I take my responsibilities seriously, and I'm not going to let things, fall through the cracks, but I do need to kind of pull it back. Communication needs to come in. We need to communicate what's going on here. We need to realign this. It makes me uncomfortable, kind of like I don't like the idea of, making people feel like they can't count on me. It really upsets me. It really bothers me. Like, I don't want people to think they can't count on me. But I'm also getting like, there's an energy here that respects this. And I feel like when you're coming forward to this energy, because I feel like it might be more than one person, truthfully. Like, you have to talk to a couple different people, kind of like, I don't know what's going on, but I feel overwhelmed. I've overextended myself. I'm not going to leave you high and dry, but is there something we can do different here? Can we add this up in a different way? The energy does respect this and understands this. And actually, I feel like when I'm getting the Guardian of Feathers, this energy completely is on point with you. Kind of like, yeah, life happens like that sometimes. Thank you for telling me. Thank you for coming forward, because I feel like the way they're looking at this is kind of like the way life goes. You can try to force yourself to stick to something, but it's kind of like every now and then, and I'm in this boat definitely, we overextend ourselves, we push ourselves too long, and then your body's like, all right, I'm sick of you. So how about this? How about I'll just knock you out of the game and make you sick. Then you can't do all that stuff, and you're going to have to take a week off. And I feel like this energy is kind of like, whoever you're dealing with is kind of like, yeah, it's better that you slow down now before life makes you slow down. This energy is very much kind of like, yeah, no, it's understandable. We need to do this differently. I think this is very responsible of you to address it before it gets out of control, because we could just try to ignore it and just force it forward, but I feel like that would be a mistake. This energy very much respects you coming forward and saying, you know what, I'm getting overwhelmed. I need to reevaluate this. We need to do this differently, because I feel like I just can't seem to get on board. I'm forcing myself forward. I can't get on board. My energy level is not getting on board with this. I feel like I should be able to do this, but my body's like, we're not doing it. Eight of Fossils is the Eight of Pentacles. Passion. Realigning. This person is kind of like, there's at least one person who's like your cheerleader, kind of like, yes, I think we should redo this, and I think you need to put some energy aside or put some time aside for you. This is popping in. I want to be careful with this, because you got to be careful how you deal with this. Sometimes there's business connections. How do I put this? I'm thinking of like a couple different situations that are job related, where literally the corporation does not care about the people. I don't care what they say, because what they'll do is they'll say mandatory overtime or this other stuff where it's best for the business, and it's easy to see that it's about the business. It's not about the person, because people can't go constantly working overtime and be healthy. And I don't know, there's something about this where you might have to look at this in a way of like, some of you might have a job that the job is abusive in the sense of like they just take. And it may not seem abusive on the outside, kind of like, well, we pay you overtime, or we give you this, or we do this for you, or we do that for you, so it's fine. We're not abusive. You have to do what we say, though. You have to work yourself to the bone, and we said so. But we compensate you for it, so you can't complain about it. Like, those abusive connections, like they just feel like they have every right to take everything they can from you because they're compensating you on their terms. If this is job related and it's sucking the life out of you, you might have to considering maybe there's a different job, or maybe there's a different company you should work for. Take that with a grain of salt. I feel like if that's I don't feel like that's gonna be a question mark. I feel like you're gonna know in the sense of like, wait a minute, that makes me uncomfortable, but maybe that's true. Some of you are going to feel that, like, And then you have to think about, how are the other people around you relating to this job? Are other people feeling completely worn out and used? I've seen people in management get used that way, where the people below them are fine, but literally it's kind of like the management people are just overworked and like, spread really thin, and then they have to leave because it's just not, it's abusive, and it's abusive connection. It's kind of like, well, maybe the money is good, but I don't enjoy my life anymore. In fact, I don't remember the last time I had a good day. To the point where even on your weekends, you don't feel like the weekends are yours. Either you have to catch up on sleep, or you have to rest, or you have to catch up on all these other things that you never really get to enjoy life. It's kind of like, I don't have the luxury of enjoying life anymore. For those of you that, you're going to know if that hits. Because I'm getting the whale coming in. Like, we need to reevaluate what's going on. You need to be happy. That's a very important part of life. Sometimes people devalue that. I don't know why. But like, you enjoying life, you being happy, is essential part of life. That's part of what life is about. Getting through life, being successful, and finding your happiness with it. Not optional. Happiness is not optional. It's not an optional thing. And it should be, you should be spreading it out throughout your life. It should be not just like, well, I'll get there and then I'll be happy. It's not really the best way to do it, but take it with a grain of salt. You believe what you believe, you do what you need to do. It should be kind of, you should have some of it. It should be pulling you through life. And if this situation is monetarily good, but emotionally destructive, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. You need this. You need to cut through the bull. That bull is right here. You need that heart and mind balance in this. And if this is hitting for you, I feel like they're saying you have to make decisions to where you're happier. Virgo is very smart in the sense of like, you can make the best out of, you don't need like high amounts of money to make yourself happy. Granted, it's ideal to get some equity and extra money and, stack it in there. But you also know how to take, you can make a banquet out of $5. I think you're that sign that can make a banquet out of $5. You're like, wait a minute, I'm frugal. I know we can do this. I can get this there. That person will help me with this. We can work this out. You can make a banquet out of $5. I just feel like you're that sign that can do that. And they're kind of like, get yourself into that mindset. Yes, maybe there's a lot of good money here, but you can also make less money work out just as well and live like a king, queen, royal, live like a royal. Maybe what I would say that. That would be better. Okay. The bull energy is kind of like, this is an earth energy too. This is kind of like, we're not going to feed into the bull here in the sense of like what's not true versus what is true. This sometimes talks about Taurus. I know you're not Taurus, but it's also another earth sign. This is taking control of your situation and kind of like, I don't need this amount of money to be happy, especially because maybe you have a high amount of money coming in, but you're not happy at all. You know what? Maybe there's other possibilities. I can get another job. It won't be as much money, but I can make it the best thing. And maybe I can be a lot happier. And sometimes for Earth, I've noticed this is sometimes the hard lesson for Earth. But to really look through it and go, you know what? That job over there, I could get that job over there. I make half, maybe a little bit more than half of what I make now there. But I would have so much more time to myself, and I could downsize this other stuff. I don't need these 2 cars. And I don't need the top line of the line cars. I could actually trade them in, get something much more affordable. I could even, maybe I want to rent, I have options. You have options. You can see options. Also with Earth, you probably won't make a decision in 2 seconds. That's not usually Earth. This is more than likely food for thought. Look at the possibilities. Just write it down on paper. If you want to change this, what would it take? What would it change? And where could you go with it? You start writing things down and kind of like, well, I'm not happy with this amount of money because I should be because it's the money, but the money is sucking the life out of me. What it takes to get this money is sucking the life out of me. This over here, that's less. What would I need to change to accommodate that for this to work? And what other things would have to change and how would that work? You start looking at the details, I think you're going to solve your own problem fairly easily. It's just about what's worth to you. What's it worth to you? This energy around you, there's a very compatible energy around you. And I'm getting the Kuan Yin. I've looked up the name of this. I've looked up this card, but I'm an intuitive reader, and I have to respect that in the sense of like, what I'm feeling for her is I'm feeling a very caring for myself so I can care for others, doing what's right, not doing what the world thinks is right, but doing what I believe is right. And kind of like, wait a minute, let me step back and look at this. Like, what do I really feel? Do I need this job with this high paycheck, or can I take that other job and be a lot happier and have a much more fulfilling life? Does the dollar sign really work that well for me? Or can the dollar sign, this other dollar sign, work better for me? It's just maybe, and maybe other people may think I'm making a foolish move, but is it right for me? And this feels like somebody who has the conviction to be like, I need to do what's right for me, not what's right for everybody else. And I need to realize I'm living this life. And by doing what's right for me, it does trickle down to other people, and it's better for other people. Other people may not believe in me and may not see it, but I need to do what's right for me. And I need to really think what's right for me. Getting through the negativity. Thinking it out, working it out. It says automatic writing here. If you're into that, that's cool. Go for it. But I'm getting kind of like writing down, literally writing down what you want. You can even do it on a computer, whatever works to you. Like if you have something tangible in front of you where you can look at it, add to it, take from it, over like a week or two, especially if you do it at the end of the night, what's working for me, what's not, and you just keep adding to it every night, what's working, what's not, and then you start looking at this like, wait a minute, some of the stuff here that's not working for me is unacceptable. Some of the stuff that is working for me is not good enough to justify what's not working for me. Because you'll start to see it a lot easier. You'll then go into the next step like, well, if I want to change the balance here, what does it take for me to change the balance? What do I need to do to, get that other job? What do I need to do to be able to afford this other job if it's less money? And what is that going to do to my life? How do I feel about that in 2 years and 5 years? All that stuff. I feel like there's a lot of natural characteristics of yours that will come forward and just help you support what you need to do. And you'll get through this negativity. The Seven of Wands, this is overcoming negativity to get your true success. It's not just this isn't just like something being handed to you. Like the Six of Wands is like just success in general. To me, this is like success that comes through effort, working through that negativity to make a situation successful that's not working for you. And the rewards are there. Making these changes are going to have long-term rewards that you're not expecting. I actually feel like for a lot of you, what will happen is maybe the money will go down noticeably, but over the next 5 years, it will return back to where it was anyway. And you'll just find a better way to make the same amount of money to where you're a lot happier and kind of like you'll look back 5 years from now going, you know what, I'm glad I made that move. It worked out in the long run a lot better for me. Healing. Four of Swords. That's healing. Resting. There's healing coming out. There's a lot of healing coming through this. It seems like it's a lot, but you have to choose the healing. You have to go for the healing. You have to go forward towards the healing, and you can definitely have this. All right, I think we're good. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.